What's up, everybody? Good morning. Welcome to a Tuesday edition of Morning Scone, presented by Brock, the Baton Rouge Beauty Clinic, Hudco Roofing, hudcoroofing.com. Do business with someone you know, Hudco Roofing, hudcoroofing.com. Hope your Tuesday's off to a great start. We did get confirmation on Monday of, well, let me rephrase. There were reports on Monday, not confirmed by LSU, but reports. Julie Boudouin of Tiger Details had it first that Maason Smith, torn ACL, done for the year. Unfortunately, that's kind of what we all feared, right? When he had that jump and the awkward landing and his knee kind of buckled and you saw it kind of the lower part of his leg dangle. You kind of immediately knew it when he walked to the locker room and then came back out on crutches with tears on his streaming down his face. We kind of all knew at that moment what it was. So, I mean, the first and most important thing is just to say, man, it sucks for Maason Smith. Feel terrible. He was in awesome shape on everybody's preseason All SEC list, everybody's breakout, this and that. It's actually very similar to what happened with Caleb Maason a few years ago in 2018. LSU played Miami and Dallas in the opener, and if you remember, Caleb Vaughn went down with a non-contact injury, torn ACL, missed the whole 2018 season, came back in 2019 and had a great year and was a first-round draft pick. So I still believe that's in the cards for Maason. The unfortunate part for him is, I guess for him not to play the season, for us, it's one fewer season we're going to get to watch him play in the purple and gold. So selfishly, that sucks. But but he'll be back, and I'm not sure if y'all saw, but Chris Godwin of the Bucks tore his ACL against the Saints in December, and is at practice here week one with no knee brace on and running fully. So, I mean, that was 8 full months. So it is certainly plausible to think Maason Smith will be back and ready to roll for the opener next year when LSU plays Florida State in Orlando. So anyway, very, very disappointed. How LSU looks to replace Maason Smith becomes the question now. Mekhi Wingo was pretty obviously the next man up in the rotation and played really well. Had 6 solo tackles, which is a lot from an interior spot. And had that fumble recovery. He was on AFR, Wingo was on AFR, a couple of times after he signed, and then, kind of, I had him back on, I think, when he was driving back from went home to Missouri and was driving back, and got him on the phone. And one of the things that they told us, he loves to be that interior rusher, sort of to blow up the launch pad. So that's a guy that hopefully can give you some interior pressure. The thing about Maason Smith is, he was so good, not only on the inside, but he's versatile that you can move him out as well because of his length and athleticism. So you lose that, obviously. My guess is on the interior, Wingo will start there, and you just see more of Jacoby and Guillory and Bryce Langston. Those are the guys in camp that we saw play. Guillory's obviously the sophomore, third-year sophomore out of Alexandria Senior High. Big dude, 6'2", 315, so he's a big space eater in the middle. And then Bryce Langston is a redshirt freshman, 6'3", 293, so another big dude in the middle. And those two probably, basically Wingo becomes your starter, and then Guillory steps up into Wingo's spot, and then you see Langston step up in the rotation. We saw Langston play inside and out also. So disappointing, but it's a spot where, man, they do have a lot of bodies and a lot of depth. And it's not that you ever want that to happen, especially to an awesome player, but that's one where they theoretically should be able to absorb it. So let's say some good mornings here, see whatever y'all got. Jay Amber, good morning. Chuck Sanchez, what's up, Chuck? Get it? Up, Chuck? Hadn't got to do that in a while. Brian Broom, Kelly Gross, Quentin Breakbill, Brant Roban, good morning. If you were Scott Woodward, what would your feeling be after how that game was played and handled? You have a long view, Brant. I mean, you have to have a long view. You can't. It is so rare that a head coach takes over a great situation. Usually if a football coach is hired, it's because somebody got fired because they weren't performing and the program wasn't up to standard. It's very rare that you have a Lincoln Riley, Oklahoma situation where Bob Stoops has run that thing for 20 years and they've been a championship contender and Lincoln's the OC, and then Stoops retires suddenly and Lincoln becomes the head coach. And when you inherit a great situation, Larry Coker at Miami, inherited a mega talented team and then couldn't sustain it, right? Brian Kelly's inheriting a bad situation. He's got to build it. So I think any CEO, any leader recognizes that, right? Where you understand, you hire people to do a job, you get out of the way, you let your people do their job. Jeremy Kling, Bubba Tatum, Vernell Thomas, David Wallace, Brian Wynn. Hey, Dad, good morning. Jason Austin, Paul Losi, Kirk Taylor. A lot of noise about Booty and other players going dark on social media. They should go dark on social media. Hey, let me be very clear, and I said this on AFR on Monday. A lot of y'all suck. You know who you are. A lot of you suck. If you're a grown person going and taking shots at college athletes on social media, you suck. You need perspective in your life. I'm not saying be unemotional. I'm not saying the games don't matter. Don't misunderstand me. I'm not saying you should feel great. I'm not saying moral victories are cool. I'm not saying any of that. What I'm saying is, if you're taking time out of your day to go lash out at 18, 19, 20, 21-year-olds on social media, you suck. You suck. Well, NIL, they get paid. Shut up. You dork. Like, I got no time or tolerance for that. NIL, they get paid now. Not every athlete gets paid. And the ones that do, most of them are getting a pittance. You want to know some of the NIL deals that I've seen get done? $250, $500. You'd be stunned. Not everybody's Bryce Young. Even the deals Gordon's doing. Which y'all think those dudes are getting six figures? You out of your mind. Anyway, that's my thought, Brant, on athletes being dark on social media. They should go play the season and forget about people who are crapping on you on social media. Adults who have nothing better to do with their time than to go crap on young people on social media. Joey Vincent, Tim Gocher, Trivia Carter, Wendell Norman, Brady Smith. Yeah, man. Brady says, good seeing you, Russell, on Saturday. Thanks for coming by, man. Really appreciate it. I mean, so many people came by. It was awesome. I always love to get to meet people whose names I say all the time, and we got to see Jed Meir. I just met a whole bunch of other people who came by to say hello, which was awesome. Well, hey, Chris, good morning. Anything about Ali Gay facing multiple game suspension? Not that I've heard, Chris. I mean, look, we've seen targeting fouls before, and that was as egregious as they come, and so he'll miss the first half of the game against Southern. He'll be back for the second half. Trivia, how bad is the team? Trivia, they are kind of what I said, right? Really suspect on the offensive line. You got an athletic quarterback who's a dynamic runner. You got a pretty dominant defensive line. You got some questions in the secondary, but safety plays really good. Got some green linebackers who are athletic. The strength of your team as receivers, as you saw when they got going late. I mean, the people having the biggest problem today, Trivia, are the people who thought this team was going to win that game 38-10. And look, man, you know who you are. None of y'all who were like, man, they can blow them out 38-10, 40-10, 38-17. Y'all know who you are. None of y'all, not one of y'all sent me a message yesterday. Not one of y'all got up in my DMs. Not one of y'all commented on a post to say, hey, man, I had 48-10, but I guess you were right. Not one of y'all. Y'all just hiding. You know who you are. And so y'all are the same people today going, man, Russ Mitchell's right. They're not going to win 4 games. Yeah, they will. You were just so outsized with your expectation that what you saw makes you think they're down here, when realistically, The expectation should have been around here, and what we got was right about here. So can they get better and get to here? Sure. But they ain't going to be here this year. That's on you. Brian Powell, good morning, Matt. Will be at the Saints game in Atlanta Sunday? Score prediction, who dat? Let me look at it, man. Honestly, the last 48 hours was just an LSU avalanche, and I have not even turned my attention yet to Saints-Falcons, which is so weird to say, but that starts today. So I'll have a much better sense on that game when I really start digging into Atlanta and get into this game over the course of the week. But I'll give you I'm not dodging it. I just genuinely don't know yet. I think the Saints will win, but what type of game to expect, I don't know. Jonathan Martin, morning, Scone. I think if the line holds up for Jaden, the offense is going to be deadly. Besides a throwaway and drops, he was perfect. Shea Dixon had a great tweet. I don't know if y'all saw it. I love this. Hang on, I'm going to read it to you. Shea Dixon tweeted last night. I love this tweet. Imagine, because someone said Jaden Daniels is not an SEC quarterback. So Shea said, imagine hating a quarterback who was the best player on offense, didn't turn it over, led a 99-yard, 2-minute drive, and completed 74% of his passes in his first SEC start. Perspective. Jesse Post, morning, Matt. Loved AFR yesterday. Great insight. I feel like this team is going to vastly improve quickly. Thanks, Jesse. I appreciate it. Yeah, so if y'all missed, at the beginning of AFR on Monday, I did 2 segments. The first segment was like a big picture, state of the program type deal, and then another segment that was the game itself. So if you're interested, you can go to the After Further Review LSU YouTube channel, and you'll see both those posts there. All right. A Reed Rule, do you like Florida State's uniforms? Yeah. I'm sorry, that was Brad David. Reed Rule, morning, Matt. Special teams coaching was demotion worthy. Poley needs to be full-time recruiting, not make on-field decisions. It costs us the game, will be a season-long problem. Reed, I remember whenever they made the coaching change, and T-Bob and I did this on Scone and T. We went staff member by staff member and said, okay, where is there an upgrade? Where is it a downgrade? And across the board, everything was an upgrade. Denbrock over Pete's, House over Durante, Jamar Kane, over Carter. Kane's definitely a more veteran defensive line coach. Major college football. We went position by position, and there was 2 where you could argue it was a downgrade. One was the secondary, losing Corey Raymond, replacing with Kerry Cook. So Kerry Cook's a very good secondaries coach, but Corey, DBU, all that stuff, you could make the case. And special teams, going from Greg McMahon to Brian Polian. I think that was the consensus. And it showed, didn't it? Greg McMahon was awesome during his time here. Awesome. Deserves so much credit for how good LSU special teams were for the length of time he was here. But I think that's the best hire Ed made. Gregory Vickner. Dax Jeter, our offensive line can't block a soul in a phone booth. We should have just fired up the bus and went for 2 at the end. You should have. Should have is SHOULD apostrophe VE. It's a contraction combining should and have. You should have gone for 2, not should have gone for 2. Should have doesn't make sense at all. But I do agree with you that I think they should have gone for 2 in that moment. There's certainly a case to be made for kicking the PAT and going to overtime, but I felt like that was the one spot in the game where you had them on their heels. They were in complete and utter disbelief and feeling like they might lose the game, and you had to go get 3 yards and win the game. And with a mobile quarterback who can move the pocket, make a play on a defensive breakdown, I agree with you. I completely agree with you, Dax. I think they should have gone for 2. And that's not hindsight. That is what I said standing in Don Juan in that moment. So none of you were there because we weren't live streaming yet. But yes, I wanted them to go for 2. Jeremy Sagely, Rick Howick, what's up, Matt? Not excited. They looked unenthusiastic and sloppy. Didn't expect to blow up, but geez, what's the story on Booty? So, Rick, I agree with you. They were unenthusiastic and sloppy for about 2.5 quarters. And when they started going tempo in that last drive of the third quarter, they sparked. They looked pretty good from that point on. I'll be very interested to see if and how much tempo they use going forward. The other thing I'll tell you is the biggest issue you have with that offensive line, obviously, is they were completely outmatched by that Florida State defensive line. But I'm here to tell you that's the best defensive line LSU is going to face until they go to Gainesville. So I'm not saying they won't face good players, but that's the best defensive line they'll face until they go to Gainesville. So while your offensive line has to get better, they're not going to face a challenge like that again for about 2 months. Yep, no surprise. Dax is a 38 tenor. He's good for you for acknowledging it. Mark Bork, what's up? Carly Gutierrez, I've been waiting all morning for your comments on these ignorant LSU fans who want to bash college kids and coaches. You did not disappoint either. You're there you go, Carly. We all need perspective in life. Again, I am not saying that you need to be unemotional. I'm not saying just be happy you get to watch football. I'm not, like, you should be upset. Like, there's a lot invested into LSU football. There's a lot invested in the program. We all invest our time and emotional, our sort of emotional equity into this team. And you should be emotional about it. That's the thing that makes it great. So don't misunderstand me. I'm not saying don't care. I'm not saying don't be emotional. I'm not saying don't be upset. I'm just saying don't direct that at college athletes on Twitter. Like, be an adult human. Think about what you're doing for a millisecond. Like, call your buddy and complain. Call me and complain. Post here and complain. But like, that's why, you want to know why college kids go and scrub their Instagram, delete their Twitter? Because they don't want to listen to y'all's crap. And I don't blame them. I listen to it all the time. I just don't care. Like, I signed up for it. I know I welcome it. I have more ways than anybody in media to contact me. I give y'all a freaking text line that I pay for so you can text me. I don't care. Direct your venom at me. Let's see. Earl said, Matt, I'm hearing LSU safety out 4 games. Academic reasons. Have a great day. Yeah, Earl. So Wilson Alexander, the Advocate, reported that it's Joe Fouché, the transfer from Arkansas. Apparently there was an issue with his transfer from Arkansas. So he's got to miss 4 games. They are appealing. They could cut it down. But safety, again, is one of those spots where they have great depth. I mean, Major Burns and Jay Ward won those jobs. So Joe Fouché was running back up there. So it hurts your depth, no doubt, with a 3-year starter. But you get him back after a month or sooner, hopefully. Stephen Bickham, Michael Cook, what's up? Jordan Mentzer, do we see more tempo offensively? I think you got to, Jordan. And if nothing else, I don't know that you're going to run that exclusively. Like, Tennessee does it, for example. But when you do that, boy, you really tax your defense. If your offensive philosophy is go, 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 then your defense can be on the field for 90 plays a game. And there's some times where your offense has to be complementary to your defense with the way that you play. But I think it is fair to say that, whenever you get bogged down, you get a situation like that again, where a team is pinning its ears back and coming to get you and your offensive line is struggling, then part of the way that you can sort of compensate there is tempo, like we saw. All right, y'all smash that like button if you haven't done so yet on YouTube. Thanks so much for being there. If you're new, please subscribe up to the channel. Facebook, please like the page, share the post. Damon Gilmore, Mark Allen, keep building, let's move on. Rapping Batches, Lucy B. Let's see, Brad, it's funny seeing fans say they wanted Napier. I remember fans crying when you mentioned Napier during the search. Some did. And it's one game. But I told y'all, Napier's a good coach, and there were people at the time. I have a friend who works for the University of Alabama Athletic Department, and a very good friend. And this person told me, who's an LSU person, by the way, who works at Alabama now. Y'all don't know who it is, so don't worry. But so the one thing that, like they said, there's 2 coaches that we're worried about here, meaning at Alabama, if they go to LSU. It was Mel Tucker and Billy Napier. A couple of Saban assistants who they felt would know how to build the LSU program with the resources and all, and do it really well. So that's why I was, willing or open to the idea of Napier. But look, man, it's spilled milk now. You got both schools hired good coaches. So great first win for Napier against Utah. No doubt. He's also got a freak show quarterback who's a cheat code who might be a first round draft pick. Let's see, Mont Dog, better offensive line play would solve a lot of problems. Yes. Juan, what's up? Kenneth, looks like Ryan Clark's comments about the hire was right. Hamilton Keener, I'm not going to read the rest of your comment. Hamilton Keener, I don't know why any college player would be on social media at this point. It's just mostly toxicity and bad takes. Not always, Hamilton. See, here's the thing I'll point out. There is such good stuff that happens on social media too. There are, you solve crimes on social media sometimes. There's fun. Think about J.J. Watt after the Houston floods back in 2017, wasn't it? After Harvey. Dude raised $7 million on Twitter because of social media posts. There's so much good that happens there as well. You choose what goes into your feed. If there's toxic people or things you don't like, just don't follow those people. Get them out of your feed. That's the key. Follow people and things you want that are going to bring positivity into your life. Let's see. Weston, does Maason Smith come back next year, focus on the draft? I think he's got to come back, Weston. I understand why, in this day and age, you got to ask the question, but at the same time, he played a freshman season where he was battling injury last year and played both tackle and end, and now misses an entire season of football. He's got to put film. He doesn't have any film. He's got to go put film out there. Chris Nelson, good morning, Matt. Tough loss. Brian Kelly's been known for being conservative during key play moments, going for two. For him to be successful, we think he could be in the SEC. Will he have to change? I don't know, Chris. I don't know. I'm trying to think, do I ever think of Nick Saban as being ultra aggressive? He's the standard. Sure, there were times. We've seen Nick do that. The 0-1 SEC championship game, he faked a field goal, or went for it on fourth down. That's what it was. Went for it on fourth down in his own territory against Tennessee. Defense came up with a nice stop and forced Tennessee to a field goal, and that was the thing that changed the momentum. In the 0-9 championship game against Texas, they faked a punt out of their own end zone, didn't get it. So there are those moments where you see coaches be aggressive, but we're learning. I'm learning Brian Kelly. I can't sit here and tell you I've watched every game Brian Kelly coached at Notre Dame for 12 years. So we'll learn it. Juan, is this a reflection on how bad Ogeron left the program as a whole? Yes, it is. Of course it is. You have a new coach. It's why you made a change. It's why you paid him $17 million to go away. Yes, of course there are elements of that. It's why you had to rebuild a roster and gut the entire coaching staff and support staff and everything. It was as close to a rebuild as LSU's had. But I also think, Brian Kelly will get these guys bought in throughout the course of this season, and they'll continue to play better and execute better, and they'll win games. Offensive line played horrible. Yes, they did. Cody Brunet. Booty had no interest in that game at all. He became disengaged. I think that's fair to say. The play at the goal line where Daniels hit him on the quick slant and he didn't even get his head around or his hands up is maybe the singular most disappointing play of the game for me. And that's a mouthful because there were a lot of them in that game. As always, shout out to Brock, y'all. The Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic. Of course, you need an orthopedist. They have all the subspecialties, even pediatrics. Of course, that's where we take Drew. Go see Dr. Brad Collada when he broke his arm. They were awesome. They've treated me for everything from Achilles, knee, neck. So many things over the years. Brock, they're awesome. And of course, the Friday night clinic. They've been doing that for a quarter century now, but any high school athlete can go and get checked out for free on Friday night after the game. So awesome service Brock provides. Of course, Hudco Roofing, HudcoRoofing.com. Tell you every day, do business with someone you know. Hudco Roofing, HudcoRoofing.com. Josh DeVilliers, Mason Taylor's for real. Chris Allen, I was yelling go for two as well. can't help but feel Daniels would have run it in himself easily. I think you could have spread the field and maybe created running lanes for Daniels as an RPO. If he had a pass, throw it. If not, run it. I would have liked to have seen that. Gregory Vicknair, Florida State transfer, DN verse, was eating us alive. Great player. Hang on, Drew's backpack is beeping. All right, y'all, I got to get going too as well. It is almost 8 o'clock. I got to Drew up and get him out to school. So my apologies if I missed you. All right, y'all have an awesome day. My apologies here if I missed you. Maybe one more. Your Fave 5 head, what's up? That boy Ghost. Matt, do you think we start using the spread? Well, I mean, you have to define the spread. I mean, they're already using spread concepts. When you go 3 and 4 wide, I mean, that's what you're doing. I think, or if you're asking tempo, I think they will go to tempo if they get bogged down. All right, y'all, I got to go. Y'all have an awesome day. LSU Daily is already live. AFR at 3 and Sports Takeover, new show that I'm recording, me, Michael Cobble, Shay Dixon on WBRZ Plus, which in Baton Rouge is, I believe, channel 11, or you can get it streaming on WBR Plus, but 6:30 p.m. Brian Kelly meets the media today at noon, so the sort of regular game week starts today on Tuesday. Everything's kind of pushed back, the holiday and the Sunday game and everything. So, okay, y'all have an awesome day. Thanks so much for watching. Peace.